Welcome back, dear students. In today's video, I'm going to discuss break statement and algorithm in Python. Dear students, by the end of this video, you will be able to explain the scenario when to use break statement. You will be able to write Python code using break statement, and you will be able to differentiate between algorithm and non-algorithm. Let's start with break statement. Sometimes we don't know when to end a loop until we get halfway through the body. In that case, we can use a break statement to jump out of the loop. Dear students, there will be some scenarios where we won't be knowing exactly at this point to end a loop. Means when a condition is going to meet, that won't be known to us. For example, suppose we want to take an input from a user until they type done. Take one example. Say we want to take an input from the user and print whatever the input the user has entered on a screen until the user is going to type done. In such case, we don't know whether the first time itself the user will enter done, or say 5th time or 90th time or 100th time or 1000th time. We don't know when user is going to enter done. But till the user is going to enter done, say we are whatever the input user is going to enter, that we are supposed to print it. And we could write a program something like this. You can see here. If you see while true, in place of expression there is true. This is nothing but always it is true. Means while true, line is equal to input and here greater than. Means it is an indication for the user to enter the input. Whatever the user is going to enter the input, that will be read and it will be assigned to a variable line. And here we are going to compare. If a line is equal to done, dear students, say more about a string comparison and string evaluation we are going to see later. So, but here, say done is means whatever the user is going to enter, it will be a string, and that we are going to compare with a done. If user is going to enter done, then we are going to break. Whatever the user has entered, if it is not equal to done, means this expression will result into false. If this expression result into false, then it will not break. It will come to print the line. And once it will print the line, once again it will go here and check that the condition here is again true. And once again it will ask the input from the user. If we execute this, I will show the execution, dear students. I am going to write a script vi break.py. Say here program to illustrate the use of break. Dear students, directly I will start while true. Say note that after expression you are supposed to type colon, and here so I am going to ask the input, and let me compare that. If line is equal to done, then break, otherwise print whatever is there in line, and afterwards just print end. A very simple program I have written, dear students. While true, line is equal to whatever the user is going to enter, that will be stored in a line and it will be compared with a string done. If it is equal to done, then break. Dear students, if you have studied C or C++, if at all we want to compare two strings, we are going to use some library functions like strcpy to copy and strcmp to compare. Means using a library functions, we are going to manipulate the strings. We are going to work on strings. Whereas, dear students, in case of Python, we can directly use a double equal is a comparison operator where it is going to say check for the equality, whether left hand side and right hand side both operands are equal or not. This particular operator can be used with any data type, irrespective of whether it is integer or floating point number, even in case of strings. That's one of the advantage in case of Python. Let me save this and execute using Python 3 interpreter. Now here, dear students, we need to enter something. I'll enter Python. The same thing has been displayed. If I enter, say for example tree, whatever you enter, say it will be displayed. Okay. Say if you enter anything, what you enter, but except done. If you enter done, it will going to end. Okay, so here we don't know. It's an important thing, dear students. We don't know when user is going to enter done. Say for example, for the first time itself, the user may enter done. Then there itself it is end. Say means if at all we write, say for example, while if I take a one variable like say, n is equal to 5 and while n is greater than 0, we will be knowing that it will going to execute 5 times. Means a definite number of times that loop will going to execute, that will be known to us. But here we don't know how many times this loop will going to execute. In such cases, we can check the condition within the loop and use a break statement to end the loop. Hope this is clear to all of you, dear students. This is the program which we have written. The condition within the loop is true. When the condition is true, whatever the loop is there, it will going to execute always. So loop runs until it hits break statement. Each time through, it prompts the user with the angle bracket. So this bracket greater than bracket. If the user types done, the break statement exits the loop. Otherwise, the program echoes whatever the user types and goes back to the top of the loop. We have executed and seen. Say till the user is going to enter a done, the loop is going to continue. Once the user will enter a done, it will going to end. Hope this is clear to all of you, dear students. What we do, say using break statement, we are going to write a one program. Say a simple program to understand still better. Like here, dear students, if you know how to find a square root of a given number. Okay, so in mathematics, so there is a one method which we call it as a Newton's method. Using that Newton's method, we can find a square root of a given number, and that we'll find it in this case using while and break statement. Dear students, loops are often used in programs that compute numerical results by starting with an approximate answer and iteratively improving it. For example, one way of computing square root is Newton's method. Suppose that we want to know the square root of a. If we start with almost any estimate, say for example x, we can compute a better estimate with the following formula. Say for example, dears, we want to compute a square root of some number, say a, and we don't know what is the square root of a. In generally, we'll assume some x as a square root of a. Later, we'll start computing such that the x should become square root of a. So here, if you take one example, if a is 4 and x is 3, means I'll take a as 4 and x is some number. Obviously, say it should be less than 4 because square root will be less than that number. Okay, say I'll take, say for example, 3. A is equal to 3. In a Python interpreter, if we assign a is equal to 4 and x is equal to 3, the formula is y is equal to x plus a by x divided by 2. And this formula can be, say, implemented here like this: y is equal to x plus into bracket, say inside the bracket x plus a by x bracket complete divided by 2. When this is computed, y will be, say, like 2.166667. If you see, we had taken an approximate value like 3, some estimate, but we estimated, say we had taken some approximate value 3, but we estimated it to 2.166667, which is nearly equal to square root of 2, but not exactly equal. This is a better estimate than what we have assumed. When we run this again and again, the result will become closer to what we are supposed to get. Like say next time when we run it, say it will still become closer. Next time when we run it, still it will be closer. Next time when we run it, still it will be closer. I can show this in a interpreter itself. Let's see, dear students. I'm going to start the Python interpreter. And let me take initially a is equal to 4 and x is equal to 3. And later, say we want to find the estimation using the formula. The formula is y is equal to x plus a by x divided by 2. Right? So afterwards, we are going to print y. So just I'll write y. Now say we had taken estimate as 3, but the near value is now new estimate is 2.166665. Now what we do, we'll assign a new estimate to the x, means now we'll make x is equal to y, and once again say we'll calculate it and print y. Okay, so this method we can continue. Say once again we'll assign a new estimate, once again we'll calculate, and let's print it. Sorry, I didn't print it. No problem, I can print now also. Okay, say right, say once again we'll estimate, means we'll calculate and print. So you can see, dear students, every time say it is becoming closer. And here is a code how we can write it. Here is a loop that starts with an initial estimate of x and improves it until it stops. Means until it stops changing. If you see, dear students, while true, this is always true, because we don't know when we get that exact value, means exact square root. Because of that, say what we do, say here, say it's always true, condition is true. Print x will be printed. Okay, y is equal to x plus a by x divided by 2. If y is equal to x, then break. And if y is not equal to x, then assign y to x. Dear students, say here I have executed this repeatedly, which can be taken within a loop. Okay, so if at all you want me to say write a script and show it, so I'll do that. Like say I'll take a file name as square root .py, and here say let me assign a is equal to 4 and x is equal to 3, and here while true, and let us print the estimate, print x, and later y is equal to, it is x plus a by x divided by 2, and x is equal to new estimate. Before that, if y is equal to x, if y is equal to x, then break. Hope this is clear to you, dear students. I'll show you this. You can see, instead of say if I give some 9, and if the estimate is near to it, it will take less number of steps, otherwise it will take more number of steps. Say here, say instead of giving estimate as 5, if I give say for example 8, right? So, or say for example if I give some 2, you can see, dear students, whatever may be our estimation, but finally we will get the required square root. But one of the very important thing here is, for most values of a, this works fine, but in general it is dangerous to test float equality, because, dear students, floating point values are only approximately right. Most rational numbers like 1 by 3 and irrational numbers like square root cannot be represented exactly with float, because, dear students, if you say 1 by 3, it will go on 0.33333, it will go on like that. We won't be knowing exact its precision, and here it is very much difficult to compare the precision. We take a floating point number, now you can see this might be less number of steps we might have got it, but remember, dear students, it will be very difficult to get the square root when a big floating point number will be taken, because we don't get a proper estimate in that case. Okay, say like say 3.75 will not be equal to 3.744449. In such cases it will going to fail. In those cases, what we can do is, rather than checking whether x and y are exactly equal, it is safer to use a built-in function abs to compute the absolute value or a magnitude of the difference between them. Like say what we can do, dear students, let us consider that the square root of a some value is some given number is here if I take say for example square root of some given number 7.69 and estimate will be say for example 5.37. See, it will going to extend here because the Python is going to take only 15 digits after the decimal point. It will try to approximate, but when this particular number is a bigger one, the approximation means comparison will not be so easier. Okay, in that case what we can do is we can take an approximate value, like say we can take a difference between actual square root and the estimated. If that difference is lesser, means like say for example we'll take a difference between two estimate. If this difference is less than 0.000001, that determines how both are very much close enough. Means here say something like this we'll do. If absolute value of y minus x, say y is estimated value and x is assumed one, it means if you see this over a time, y and x will be say two consecutive estimations. Y will be say the current estimation and x will be say previous estimation. The difference between these, if it is less than 0.000001, then we'll stop it. Means that much accuracy is enough for us. That's the meaning. Hope this is clear to all of you, dear students. So we'll start algorithms. Dear students, Newton's method is an example of an algorithm. Because what is algorithm is? Algorithm is mechanical process for solving a category of problems. Some category of problems, like in this case computing square roots. To understand what an algorithm is, it might help to start with something that is not an algorithm. Before we tell what is algorithm, let's see what is not algorithm. When we learn to multiply single digit numbers, we probably memorized the multiplication table. In effect, we memorized 100 specific solutions. Like say for example, single digit number means say table 1 to say table 10. In that case, and we'll stop at 10 only. Everyone has learned in that way itself. Like say 1 into 1, say 1 into 1 is 1, 1 into 2 is 2, something like that. 9 into 1 is 9, then 9 into 9 is 9, 81, something like that we have learned up to 10. The multiplication value n will be say 1 to 10. That is memorizing a number. So we don't use any logic there. That kind of knowledge is not a algorithm. Just whatever we remember that we are going to tell. But yes, students, if we are lazy, say even at least one of you might have done this, or some of you might have done this. By taking a 9 table, say used to be a very trickier thing for us. Because of that, we used to write like this. We might have learned a few tricks. Like one trick is when we are writing a table 9, we used to find the product of n and 9, something like this, where we used to write n minus 1 as a first digit and later 10 minus n as a second digit. Like say, for example, if at all I am going to write say 9 table, first number is 1, n is equal to 1, 1 minus 1 is 0, means 0 here, and 10 minus 1 is 9. Okay, 0, 9 is the first number, and second number will be, this is 2 minus 1 is 1, and here 10 minus 2 will be 8, means 1 and 8, 18. So that will be second. So something like this we have written. And this trick is a general solution for multiplying any single digit number by 9. And this is a general trick. Say you take any number, in general any n value, and if at all you want to multiply 9 by that n value, you can use this trick. And this is an algorithm. Say memorizing things or say whatever we remember telling those things is not algorithm. There should be some trick. There should be some trick in computation. And such things we call it as a algorithm. Hope this is clear to all of you, dear students. With this, let me stop here. Thank you. Thank you for watching.